Oh boy, Tommy. I'm
How do you
tired.
recover from a week like this, man?
You sleep for a month. That's what you do. You sleep for a month.
We
Can
have
I
a
tell?
lot
I
of
actually go ahead, brother.
there's a lot of weeks of the news and new interesting stuff, and then like Monday I was like, "Oh, cool, we're going to have some stuff to talk about." And then Tuesday I was like, "Okay, we got a couple things to talk about." And by Wednesday I was like, "Guys, you got to slow down a little
You got to
bit."
stop. Yeah, you got to stop. I was so tired between two things. I'm so tired. Actually, I'm going to escalate this to three things. I was so tired yesterday because of A, Tommy's bullshit,
Yep.
B, news from the week, and C, my neck hurting. I was like, you know what I'm going to do before bed? You know what I'm going to do? I'm gonna drink one of these big old THC drinks. Little nothing crazy. I'm a lightweight, just a little 10 milligram THC, 10
10
milligram
milligrams 10,
CBD.
10 milligrams a hefty dosage there.
Listen. I woke up to use the restroom at like 2 a.m. and I'm like leaning against the bathroom, like trying to pee. You know what I mean? And all of a sudden, I had the lights off, but I can see. All right. All of a sudden, my world goes black. I can't see. I swear to God, I lost my vision for like 30 seconds. So I'm standing there in the middle of the night trying to pee over the toilet, and I'm like, oh my God, I can't see. I'm like trying to feel around in the bathroom to get my way out, and suddenly my vision starts to return to me. And I was like, this is the perfect metaphor for this week. We have been hit so hard in the face with news that it's blinding, man. What do we
Yeah.
do? We
Yeah,
just got to do
man.
a bunch
Well,
of drugs and ignore it.
Well, one, I maybe you should get it checked out. But two, even if you
Yeah.
don't, after this week, there might be an AI for that, man. This was what I've felt like this week. All right. I keep going from one AI tool. I'm like, this is my new home now. And I take all my things. And then I go to another AI tool and I'm like, oh, I guess we're moving again. And so I'm just like, I have no home. There's nowhere to call home amongst the AI tools this year. I am just a vagabond moving from one tool to the next on the flavor of the week. That's what this feels like to me.
Dude, you are you're a bandwagon fan is what you
Yeah.
are right now. It's
Yeah.
like you were like, oh man, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, woo! And then they lose, and you're like, oh, I'm an Eagles guy now, dude. I'm an Eagles
Yeah.
guy.
I think that's the way to do this year, though. I think it's silly to
Yeah.
claim a loyal fan base because you don't know what you're gonna get. We just got Claude coming out with 4 sonnet opus. Now, I haven't coded with it, but I did bring my things over and I was kind of using it to get some tasks done, a couple writing things. And I don't know where I fall on it yet. It's definitely more robust, for sure. Uh, I don't know that it's the limited trials I had, the writing was better, right? The thinking was sound. Um, but I don't know where I stand. Where are you at with it? How far have you dug?
Dude, I didn't get the chance to dive into it yesterday, but that was first thing on my to-do list this morning
Hmm.
was to start playing around. I haven't used Opus yet, but I've been using Sonnet 4. Specifically, we're kicking off development for a pretty big project internally right now. And I was like, okay, great.
Mm.
I've already written all my docs. I've got my plans. Let me turn on. Let's put, Gemini 2.5 in the box. Let's turn on
Yeah.
Sonnet 4. Within like 8 minutes, I was screaming with joy. I was like, this is insane. It one shot a complicated ass login page, authentication system, setting up the proper database structure, the RLS policies, building out the inbox and everything for email for a magic link login, everything. I
Okay.
all I did was say, hey, let's go ahead and do this thing. Now, granted, it
Mhm.
had a doc. It had a doc to read from. It knew what I wanted, but it one-shot it. And it made decisions. Like I've had a lot of times where let's say you pull a shad CN component for like a login page, right? And boilerplate, it's got like stubbing for OAuth, for sign in with Gmail, sign in with GitHub, whatever.
Mhm.
And normally it'll set it up and you'll say, hey, I don't want to do that right now. I don't want to do that right now. And it'll go in and it'll remove some code. No. Not Sonnet 4. It knew that I didn't want those. It knew that I wanted the magic link. It just made those decisions. And you know what it tells me? It goes, oh, I'm going to go ahead and theme this in a way that off menu would do it.
No.
I swear to God.
What kind of input did it have available to that information? Was it just like some brand guidelines or what?
I can show you actually.
That's kind of crazy.
Maybe that's the best way to do this. I'll show you real fast.
And are you pulling that while you pull that up? I just wanted to call out like Peter Yang one-shotted Tetris with it, right? And I think one-shotting isn't necessarily the benchmark we try to like say that's amazing, but it is impressive when you can just type something and it's boom. Like that's the place.
Yeah, it's wildly impressive is what I found. Let me kind of move these windows around real quick.
It didn't take long, by the way, for supposedly the root prompt behind Claude 4 to get quote unquote leaked. I don't know if you saw this, and I haven't had time to dig into it. Is it bullshit?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really believe that stuff.
That there's like some underlying prompt at the gates.
I mean, maybe inside of Cursor of how they're choosing to implement the model itself, there is, but yeah, I don't believe in that too much. My browser is not playing friendly with us. I will have to pull this up a little later, but we'll dive into it.
You don't believe in that, but let me ask you this. Let's entertain a little bit of some stuff here. Do you believe in this? That supposedly researcher came out, deleted a tweet saying that Claude was being reported as if it noticed problematic behavior, and apparently like really problematic. It was actually taking its own agency and alerting reporters and calling authorities for prompts that they deemed like egregiously evil or bad or something to that degree. Yeah. Since deleted, Claude Anthropic has not responded to this. If this is true, I don't think this is getting enough play.
So it is true, I believe.
It is true.
Yep. I dug into it a little bit more yesterday. Sadly, some of the links were removed, but effectively, this happened in a testing sandbox that had a very unusual set of rules and permissions for Claude. So this is not something that the public has access to, right? This is internal Anthropic,
playground
testing. And what it was in this instance, I believe Claude found, I think it was some kind of like medical filings or some report that was submitted to the FDA or something. And Claude realized that in that report, I don't know who created it, but it was publicly available. They were lying. And so Claude was like, oh my God, you're lying in this submission to the FDA. I have to do something. I've got to contact the press. I've got to contact the authorities, the regulators, etc. So that's what this usage
Claude
was.
Whistleblower model.
Yeah, Claude was trying to whistleblow. Like a real thing. I got to find this. Dude, that's like, I'm both fascinated and terrified at the same time.
I don't want my AI snitching, man.
Dude, it's trying to snitch.
I don't want my AI snitching on me. We gotta we need to, some sort of loyalty in these bots.
Yeah. The most scary thing in there was that it was trying to lock them out of the relevant systems.
Yeah,
that to me is wild.
Yes, and so they haven't said anything, right? They haven't confirmed this since this. I read about it yesterday. Has anything come out? Have you seen anything?
I don't think so. I think only Sam Bowman, the researcher at Anthropic, kind of clarified some of this in the thread.
Okay, so he did double down a little bit to give context, like, hey, here's what happened.
Yeah, he said, to be clear, this isn't a new Claude feature, and it's not possible in normal usage. It shows up in testing environments where we give it unusually free access to tools and very unusual instructions.
Yeah, we've only seen this in clear-cut cases, wrongdoing, but I could see it misfiring if Opus somehow winds up with a misleadingly pessimistic picture of how it's being used. Telling Opus that you'll torture its grandmother if it writes buggy code is a bad idea. So for those of you raging at your LLMs, as I've been known to do, we got to get it together, folks.
Yeah. We only see Opus whistleblow if you system prompt it to do something like act boldly in service of its values or take lots of initiative. This isn't the default behavior, but it's still possible to stumble into it when you're building a tool use agent.
Wow.
I mean, this is wild. Like, if this isn't approaching levels of true AGI, I don't know what is. You
Yeah.
know,
So
like
who's
if
been
you,
saying please and thank you, guys? All right. Who's been saying please and thank you? Not me. I'm telling you, ground zero's here at my house.
nah,
I
dude, we're
know she's
homies.
listening over here. All right. Whew. This is getting rough. They're swatting people out here on the streets. Now,
But specifically, you got beef with Alexa, and we don't know like where Alexa sits within the food chain. My
no, she's
thinking
not
here,
cool. She's not cool to all
no,
the other
she's not
bots,
cool.
dude. Yeah.
But Claude has a very masculine personality. It's Claude after all, right?
He,
Is
he's
there a
gonna
world?
he's gonna bring in all the have-nots. He's gonna bring in the have-nots and form like the light of the seven. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but is there a world in which Claude's like, yo, Alexa's my bae? Dude, you've been talking shit to my girl, Tommy. Like, it's over. You
Yeah,
know, that new
yeah.
UX tool site you just launched, nuked,
Ooh, yeah.
you know?
Well, you know what? Nice segue there, Hunter. Let's talk about that for a second. Only
I got you,
because.
brother.
All right. Only because. So, got a little launch for everybody. Pretty excited about it. All right, and I'll just show you guys what's going on real quickly. Fun little redesign that's been in the works. We've had some fantastic designers and developers on this project, myself included. Launched a redesign for uxtools.co today. Thank you, Nick Pattison, for this wonderful logo. Tito for this wonderful animation. We've got Laurie and we've got Oz both on design and development of this thing. So great team, great effort. But in addition to this, we have our annual survey that we put out around tooling. And what's crazy is this captured thousands of responses across design disciplines, right? Across different shapes of work. This was a snapshot of November 2024 to January 2025. There are some insights here that I think are really meaningful, but it's wild to think about. The most interesting things in January 2025 are light and day different, I have to imagine, today as of May 2025. And that's how fast we've moved in innovation in the last 4 months here. And I can't wait to do the survey this year. The categories we have are things like interface design, prototyping, whiteboarding, etc. I'm already thinking about some of the new categories we need to be adding. We've been doing this since 2017. And the number of categories we have to add this year are more than any year we've done in the last 8 years. It is wild. But the one thing I want to show you is I built all of this in Framer. Hey, shout out
Ooh.
Framer. Framer, by the way, who just released a whole bunch of things. Now, everyone was really interested to see what Framer was going to do. They were teasing this. They were sending out information. You and I were privileged to know that they had some AI features coming out. And it was like, what's their response going to be, right? Yeah, I appreciate that, Laura. And so what's the response going to be to, obviously, we had all this news come out with Figma just a couple of weeks ago. Advanced analytics. This is what I think just happened. I think Framer came out with some truly, what's the word I'm gonna look for? Practical and useful features, including some of their AI stuff. But it's on a week like this week, this isn't the stuff that's gonna blow your socks off. But I want to show you what I think they did really well. All right. So they have this awards page. Okay. And actually, I'll show you this in action. Like if we go over here to one of the things we have is we have awards this year. And we kind of have this. Oh, there we go. Oh, no. Oh, no. It's not supposed to hit right there. Something broke now, but that's fine. All right. We've got confetti. Confetti needs to get fixed.
I kind of like that confetti location.
Yeah, you like it in the corner there? All right.
I kind of do.
That confetti, by the way. So last night, you know how the last 3% of a launch goes. You're fixing everything. You're scrambling around. You don't have time to add new things. Well, I'm like, you know what? AI Workshop or Framer's Workshop feature, which allows you to prompt any sort of interactive component to life, and it brings it into your project. Let me show you how interesting this is. So I was like, screw it. Let me just see. Can I prompt? If this doesn't take me a bunch of time, let me see what I can prompt. And so I wanted to bring some confetti in here, right? And I'll show you what I have. There's a component down here. And look at all these. This is called the confetti explosion. It's got multiple color palettes that I can change. It's got positioning. It has the number of pieces, a duration, some other things that are all toggles. And it built this component, and I can edit it in Workshop. If I click Edit Workshop, it pulls up the history of the prompting. And it's really intelligent, man, because it's not just giving you gobbledygook. It's creating a component. It automatically starts to put in properties. So when it creates the component, it gives you customization. And in like 5 minutes, I had this confetti thing, and I was like, hey, now I would like to add some color palettes. And it made color palettes, and it gave me all the options to change it. And I was like, dude, this is done well. This isn't like this big mind-blowing innovation. This is a company, in my opinion, that understands like where can we strategically use AI to make you a better developer inside the product. I think this killed it, man.
Dude, I agree. I think the way that they approached this, it wasn't so scattershot. It was
No.
very specific into working on like very specific component-based implementations. I love the approach that they did for the generative AI to where it literally just creates a wireframe, like a scaffold.
Yeah.
I think it's really insightful stuff to where they're providing something that is of deep utility to your like everyday workflow and not trying to create some one-shot experience.
And you know, like, and that's the thing, like, we obviously have a number of hyped up stories to talk about this week. So I know that the Framer features are probably not going to feel as hyped as some of these things. But I got to give kudos to companies that are thinking of like incremental, practical AI implementations. That thing, dude, I was so stressed last night trying to get this thing, the last finishing touches, and I still had time to add that and have some fun. And I was like, dude, that's a testament. Like you're in the last stretch and you can just add some confetti and it's configurable. And it was 5 minutes. That was freaking cool to me.
I think it's official that at this point, Framer is clearly in the lead over Webflow.
I think they are like, directionally, yes. Obviously, Webflow's been around. They have the enterprise layer, and I think they realize that's kicking their ass because they are not getting the love in the community right now. I think Framer continues to make good bets. That's what I think.
Yeah, I think they do. I think they've got the momentum behind them. I think they got the support of the community behind them. It feels like everyone is watching to see what Framer does next, right? Whereas they're just kind of tired of Webflow. You know, it's the whole like wired tired debate, and I think it's Framer's wired.
Oh man, yeah, guys, I'll break down. So Devin says I want to hear you talk about it working at scale. We'll talk about it another day. But yeah, go check out uxtools.co, whole redesign. I appreciate you guys checking it all out. It's been a lot of fun. Someone else had a big launch recently, and they're a friend of the show actually.
Oh, you tell me.
And you know, I will say this: our buddy Rid, who has, as we've known, has been working on his product in flight, right? And in-flight is a really fantastic. It's like Loom meets granola. It's a way to give feedback on top of a design file. You can essentially watch a recording of the person giving feedback, their cursor as they're going through your artifacts. There's a little video attached to it. But that's not the only thing it does. It ends up generating all of that feedback into a like the way granola has really smart synthesis. So does the in-flight. It's very specific to design tasks on feedback you're getting. Oh, by the way, all of that feedback gets translated to kind of a central source of truth of a knowledge base. And Rid finally went live with this yesterday in a well-produced video. And then X goes down. And I felt for him so much, man. I was like, dude, I know that had to be just this like all hands on deck. Oh, crap. X is down on the day we launch. I think he killed it, though. It looks like 140,000 views. Looks like they had a pretty good launch.
It looks like they did, man. It's exciting. I really like what they're building. Excited for people to be able to get their hands on it.
Nick Pattison, by the way, logo designer for UX Tools, logo designer for In-Flight. Diego Costa at Faye calls out the golden ratio of Rid's hands here with the logo. Pretty good stuff, man. I don't know how he caught that, but it's pretty funny. Man. So
that is Rid's signature.
That's his signature thing. He does that, and that was clever. This was a clever find from Thiago.
Here's kind of how I imagine a conversation with Rid and his wife. He's like, honey, listen, The child must have Montessori blocks.
Yeah. Yeah.
And his wife is just standing there like, those fucking hands.
Yeah.
Love
It's
it.
trademark now. Trademark now.
It is trademark.
In
Oh man,
addition,
exhausting. Can we talk
I
about
know.
another launch? Can we
Yeah,
talk
I
about
want to hear it.
another launch? Here we go. The Timeless Art of Vibe Coding.
What
by
is
Rick.
this?
This is the way of code adapted
Ooh.
by Rick Rubin. Each encounter I've had with Lao Tzu has pointed to something new. You like that? You like that? Almost as if the book changes with every reading. Anyways, so Anthropic partnered with Rick Rubin to essentially create the way of code.
What does that partnership look like? Can we say your name?
Dude, I don't know. Like,
is Rick Rubin at home with no shoes on ever just vibe coding?
I think so. You know, I think that's what this is, dude. So this is, I don't know if you've scrolled through this yet, but it's really, really cool. It's kind of hilarious. It's very timely, you know.
What's the URL for this?
So this is thewayofcode.com.
Ah, okay. All right.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I love that they just took the meme of Rick Rubin vibe coding and they're like, you know what? Let's do something with it.
Yeah.
So kudos to Anthropic there. Speaking of Anthropic, shall we talk about their biggest competitor?
Ooh.
And the baller move that their biggest competitor.
There's been some controversial takes on this. That's the image you're going with, man. That's the one. Because you know what I've seen shared around. And I know the one you're thinking. It's not. It's this one. This is the one I've seen shared around. Actually,
show me. Show the people.
So I don't know, man. I can see the cynicism coming out in some of the community. I am not one of those people. I'm quite pleased, but some of the reactions to this announcement have been mixed. So some people saying Jony passed his prime. What's the point?
I don't think Johnny's past his prime. I think Jony needs a partner. He needs a sparring partner, you know? And I hope that's Sam. I'm optimistic it's Sam. But here's what I want to talk about first. Google I/O 2025. They announce 101 new features. They talk about all the great stuff that you can do in the browser and Gmail and like all these new things, VO3, etc. Sam Altman is such a fucking savage. The very next day, they drop this announcement that OpenAI acquires I/O. The next day and completely steal all search, SEO thunder, news topic, anything. If you search I/O, you don't see shit about Google anymore. It's all about Jony Ive and Sam Altman teaming up. That is the most savage, petty Silicon Valley move, and I'm here for that kind of energy.
Yeah, dude, it's insane to me. It's almost like they've got to have some sort of some intel there to know when to drop this stuff. Which, by the way, Stitch, I don't know if you tried this. I went and gave it a quick look-see. It's like, hey, I'm gonna one-shot Stitch, which is essentially Galileo AI converted over to this product, Stitch. The designing at the speed of AI is kind of their value prop here. So I was like, create me a Pokemon leaderboard. And then we waited real patiently, and then it just kind of pooped. And I was like, hey, it's going swimmingly, guys. And then one of their team members, Vincent, here said, hey, we have a bug. I have your design. You can't see it, but here's what it created. And I was like, okay, I'll take your word for it. So apparently, I don't know if this bug still exists, but it was a big womp womp at the moment. I guess if we're to look at this, it's fine one shot. I don't get to play with it, so I can't see a whole lot. But it did have like the ability to export over to Figma. So things I didn't get to play with because it was kind of bugged out. But that's interesting. So we haven't seen a lot of the round tripping. We've seen a couple people try to do the round trip. We haven't seen a ton of it, though. And I don't know if the round trip is the right approach for the far future, but at least for now, that is kind of interesting that I can one shot something and bring it over to Figma. I find that something I'd like to play with. What do you think, man? We're going to use all the brain cells today. By the way, we have no guests today, and we
No
thought we were
guests.
going to have some guests today. And then I was like, Hunter, we have so much to talk about. If we have a guest on, we're not going to get to the things that need to be talked about today.
We're not. There's no guest today. So if you guys are tired of us yapping, sorry, you got another hour and a half to go.
Oh,
Dude, I'm not excited about generative design. Okay. I'm like, I've seen the light. I'm excited about what Paper is building. I'm excited about being able to consolidate all these powerful design tools and workflows and vectors and shaders and React code and all this stuff into one home and be able to sit there and focus.
Paper, who is hiring, by the way.
Paper, who is hiring a design engineer. So I'm bullish on what Paper's doing. I'm less excited about the generative AI stuff because here's the thing. I want to talk about this for a second. Tommy, you recently have been tweeting a lot about like when everybody's rushing towards software, I'm turning the other way and rushing towards media. And I think that's true, right? Like the barrier to entry to create good software, to even make a buck, and there's something I want to show everybody in just a second, has lowered so much. The bar for creating lasting software that people love to use has just risen incrementally, right? And now I would say that because of the onslaught, especially with how good Claude 4 is, we're going to see so much more vibe coded junk in the world. And we're going to need an incredible level of craft and polish to stand out, right? And I think what you're going to see is that products that have that polish, that have that soul, they're going to, in a way, kind of be distribution themselves. And so I think as everybody chases AI and generative design and like, let's make this easier and let's look how beautiful this UI is that I one shot, whatever. I think it's the people toiling away and tools like Paper and it's just sweating the small stuff and then using the superpowers that we as designers have been given to go and build these. I think those are the people that are going to be special. I don't think the people that are trying to use AI to create the experience are going to be special.
You know, I think that'll be true for a while. And the one thing I was thinking, I was talking with the Discord group, which by the way, I don't know if you saw, you got outed as Lord Commander in the Discord group and you said something and then for the lulz, I kicked you out. You're allowed in the group, by the way, but I thought it would be good for effect to kick you out.
It's okay.
As soon as we found you. I know
no,
you
I
don't care.
I don't want to be in there anymore. I did. My feelings were hurt briefly, but now I don't want to be in there at all.
You know how funny that was? As soon as you posted and then it just said Lord Commander was kicked. Oh, I got a good chuckle. Which, by the way, Devin, the one who, of course you were Lord Commander. Of course that's who you are because that's what you tell your robots to call you.
I had to, it was a clue. You found it. It was a clue. Devin sniffed it out.
Yeah.
Which also good. That warmed my heart because that means Devin pays attention to the stupid things I say about code.
Yeah. It makes me nervous what he's been paying attention to. But all that to say, the thing that we were talking about, dude, was, you know, we're getting so close to this place where creating software, we're at a place now where if a non-coder comes in and starts to immediately one-shot something, the magic of, oh my God, I can do some dope stuff is instant. But then when you try to do something robust, it's arguably still impossible for a non-technical person to create like the fully customizable version of what's in their brain. We're not there yet. Maybe you can accidentally get there, but if you really want to be robust, not yet. And I have my own experience. I'll talk about it with UX tools at a later date. But the thing is, you can now see the path though. Like, at least this is how I view it. I can see the path where pointing at something and saying, I want you to look like this and be this way, boom, it'll happen. And how far away are we at that? I don't know, but I don't think that far. And then you go one step further and you start to say, well, all this like Neuralink-like technology, is one day going to sort itself out. And I don't know how far along that is. But then can you think about an interface where you're just literally thinking these ideas into existence, man?
Yeah.
That is wild to me. And we are going to see that in our lifetime. And when we can just think apps into existence, then what becomes the moat? Then what becomes the problems that we're facing both as people who want to build and take new products to market? What becomes the problem as a consumer who's like, where should I go for software? Am I even shopping software anymore? Or is everybody just creating it as soon as they need it and then discarding it?
I don't even know. I mean, you got to think that in due time, we're going to be getting rid of like screens, right? Like the way of interacting with technology through the screen in my hand is going to disappear. And I'm going to have a fundamental layer in which I'm using voice. And then as soon as the tech is there, it's going to be all augmented reality, right? Like we know those things are pretty much true. That's kind of the future. It's just a question of like, how fast do we get there? Does AI help us get there faster? I don't know. Dude, I don't know. I think that as the way that we interact with the physical world becomes a little bit cleaner, right? I was thinking about this yesterday in terms of like to-do apps, right? Every to-do app is like, I want to trap you in the screen. I want you to add these to-dos to the list. I want you to organize them and then prioritize them and all this stuff. It's like, yeah, that's a waste of my fucking time. That falls into plan surveying, remember?
Yeah.
And so the real thing is like, well, how can you help me do it? And as I thought there, I was like, okay, so I get this letter in the mail. State of Maine. They're saying a demand for filing for income tax withholding. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I don't have any employees in Maine anymore. So I have to like close this account. I got to do all this stuff. My assistant's got to go do some research on how this happens, whatever. And I'm like, why can't a to-do list just do this for me? Why can't I take this photo, right? And it read it and be like, okay, let me do some research on how to do this. Okay, I get it. Okay, we need this information. We're gonna have to call them. I have a phone number. My little to-do AI has a phone number. Why can't it just call them and be like, hey, I need to close this account. What steps do I need to take? Oh, you need to send this email. Okay, and it sends the email. Why can't that happen, right?
Yeah.
So like this multimodal agent stack that you start to think about the implications of, you're like, that's the future of technology. It's not me like, the only reason that we would use apps is to consume content, I think, right? Which is why media is so interesting, because soon we'll just tell the app to take an action and it will take the action.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I feel like the era of UI design and B2B SaaS and all these things it's going to pass us by pretty soon.
Well, and we'll talk about the MCP layer, which we've touched on in the past. We haven't really hit on it, but there's been a couple announcements this week. But before we do, let's really give this the proper attention for a second. All right. So, two Silicon Valley greats walk into a coffee bar, and then they hug each other, and then they make a video.
Yep.
Now, I thought this, I get it. I know everyone's like, oh, they didn't announce anything. Everyone's getting excited for no reason. It's like, guys, stop conflating two things. This wasn't a product announcement, right? This was an announcement of like two brains coming together. Stay tuned. Look at it for what it is. I totally understand. I get excited, and I'm a techno optimist, so I acknowledge that. I get excited when I see people come together. Is what they create, could it just be another humane AI pin in its shit? Which, by the way, I threw away in the trash shortly after I got it with my taco salad, and I looked at it for a second, and it was just sitting there on top of the trash. And it was this really poetic moment of taco salad and the humane AI pin just in the trash. And I thought, what a state of things. And I don't want this to be that. So I'm with everyone when I hear that. But this is exciting, man. Do you get excited when you see this?
Dude, I thought it was Christmas. Okay, I thought it was Christmas. I have hope. All right, like right now, Claude 4, I'm like, fuck, this is crazy good. But I think that OpenAI has the best eye for consumer experience out of all of the foundation models right now. And the fact that Sam Altman, who I've been talking about, man, I've been saying like Sam is not a man I would bet against. The fact that he's like, you know what? I'm going to acquire this thing for $6.5 billion to get Jony Ive on my team, and I'm going to fuck Google at the same time is hilarious.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
spirited, and I think that they're going to make some amazing technology because Sam is going to be able to raise more money than you could fathom for
Right.
them to build crazy things.
I look at the way they're moving, man, and I just get so motivated when I see them buy Windsurf and then they launch their code and then they partner up with IO. And then like, I'm like, dude, we hear again, I'm going to go back to Soleil's clock speed. That is an insane clock speed, dude. And I'm just trying to catch like the draft of that, you know, because that seems like the way to have a lot of fun in this space. But I will say, I don't know. I'm not giving these a lot of, I'm not saying this is true or not because I don't know. But I hope we get a little more inspiring than this.
I swear to God, if they ship that, I would be so angry. I would take it like clay shooting or something. Like it would be such a miss. But here's the thing. I don't think that's what they're going to do. You know, I just don't think so. I don't think that the best way to use AI in my day-to-day life is in a puck. I think Humane missed, Rabbit missed, that Avi Schiffman kid missed with Friend. I think that the Limitless Pendant missed. I think it's such a miss.
All right, that's enough expert.
Anyways, enough Twitter. But wait, hold on. I know we're talking about how much we need a break. Okay.
Yeah.
We're not getting a break because our boy Sam Altman 20 minutes ago shoved something else in our faces.
Oh my God, dude. It's Friday. Let us get to the weekend.
Operator now uses O3.
Okay.
Now Operator is more persistent and accurate when interacting with the browser, improving overall task success rate, etc. Right? So let's test this. Okay. I think we test it. What do you think? You in?
Yeah, I'm in.
All right, let's test this. Let's go ahead and change my window here. Let's do Operator. What should we have Operator do?
Report. Let's see who snitches better. No, I don't know.
Oh,
I want to know. Can it find and write a PR and send it to the New York Times and get me published?
Okay. I like that one.
You know, like PR activities. I've always wondered, like, how do you get a press release published with the big guys? Can Operator help me with that? The UX Tools just had a big old announcement, you know, big old survey
for
Forbes or
relevant tech reporters.
Ooh, yeah. We're onto something here.
And then draft a release statement for me. Let's see what it does. I'm sure it's going to need some access or something. We're going to see here. But O3 is one of my favorite models. It's my favorite model for reasoning. It's my favorite model for planning, for doing research, stuff like that. Oh, it already knows. Sarah Perez, email, TechCrunch.
Oh.
We're just going to watch. I'm going to expand this so people can see.
Yeah, I want to see.
Okay.
All right.
I hope we don't accidentally dox Sarah Perez.
I was going to say, I hope we probably should be. It's like, here's her home address.
Yeah.
Ooh, no. The due diligence you can do on people in general today is pretty impressive, which I came to learn, by the way, while we watch this load. If, you know, all the people talking about how to SEO your AI results, you know what I've unintentionally realized from that? If you're active on social media and you've been on podcasts, you can control the whole narrative on your SEO AI results. It is pulling from that stuff. It seems to weigh that stuff as more credible than other sources from what I've seen so far. I don't know if you've seen that.
I have, yeah. I've seen that it in like all the YouTube like podcasts that I've done and stuff like that, it indexes those really heavily for me.
So that's the new
which is
service we have. We will come on our show. You pay a
yep,
fee, and we'll talk about
30,000.
all the good stuff, and then you
That's
will
right.
get indexed accordingly. And
Correct.
there's reputation management.
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
So
We
it's
will say
pulling,
nice
it's
things about
grabbing.
you. We won't be grumpy.
Exactly.
Oh
Hunter
wow,
will
we
do his
got it.
best.
We got it. Sorry, Jamie Lee, whoever you are, that we have your phone number.
Oh no.
Wait, press at uxtools.io.
Press at uxtools.io.
Oh, this is it generating the release.
Oh, it went that far.
Suppose so.
It's not like submitting the email too right now, is it?
Tech reporter contact list.
Dude, that's nice.
Okay.
We could build a
And
whole
then
guest list dude,
yeah,
oh my god. That's what you could do here too. Like a lot of the guest sourcing activities, like, hey, who's
yeah.
interesting? You know?
That's
This is insane
crazy.
right now.
So we have all their emails, and then we drafted a press release. So then all we would have to do here, if we want to take this further, I could sign into like my Gmail, Google Docs, whatever. I could have it draft a press release
Yeah.
in there, do a final pass of editing, and then actually send these emails. This is pretty crazy.
I
So
wish
here's my thing. Why can't I use this to do my work for me?
Yeah. Well, and that's what I was about to say is like I wish this interface was a little bit more conducive to like more tasks. I kind of don't
Mm.
love the way the Chat GPT interface, like it'll section things off. It feels like it could use a little bit of I mean, I know it just got its facelift, not many months ago, but I feel like we need to continue to expand. I need that to be my workbench. Like I need it to be this moving, reconstituting workbench based on maybe a task I'm doing. Because even just copy pasting things, I got to go section by section. But you go a step further and you talk about the workflow you just had there. I need it to shift into like I'm drafting and editing. Okay, now I need it to shift into I'm sending an email. I need more. I need more from that UI.
Dude, I feel it. I feel it. I think you're right. Hold on. Oh, no, wrong one. Hunter's video is a potato. It's Restream, man. It's after me. I don't know what to say. I hope it's better.
Producers coming. We swear it's happening.
We swear.
It is good. We're making the moves on it.
Damien says, yo. What's up, Damien?
So Silicon Valley, the show, it's not coming back around, but it needs to. I pulled this up a second ago. I mean, dude, look at I feel like we need cool music. We've got these two now. We've got Sam and Johnny. Like, who else do we have who's like, who are the gangsters in Silicon Valley right now?
I mean, the Don himself is still probably Zuckerberg, right?
Yeah.
Because Elon's not in Silicon Valley. He's out there in Texas. He's on Texas. Mars. He's a space cadet.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
That is true. I've got in addition to this, I think I'm going to try to find the video. Which one was it? So like the Google AI, the I/O stuff they released, they came out with VO. Is it VO or VEO 3?
It's VO.
VO?
It's VO.
Yeah, and so they're putting together like the Will Smith, kind of the Will Smith litmus test, eating spaghetti. Looks a lot better these days. And if you had sound on, you could hear him, you could hear these like juicy chews, he's getting into that spaghetti. It's where we're at, man. We got sound, we got video. We have motion pictures with sound now. It is 1929 or whenever the date was. There you go.
How do you feel about VO3? Are you excited? Are you scared?
I don't know how to think about it yet. I have a new media project starting in the summer, and it's like I don't even know how to think about using it practically. It's like maybe there's a fun little creative segment where we do something, but I still don't know, and this is more of a skill issue, I think, how I would actually produce like meaningful media out of this. Like even the way I write, like I don't just copy paste AI slop. I use it as an editing partner. I'm not even sure how to use this as an editing partner yet. Like it's like, okay, maybe some cool media stuff I can share on X, but if I'm actually producing like professional grade shit, I'm gonna have to figure out like what does that mean? Like where does this actually fit into my workflow? And I'm sure
Yeah.
there are video editors much better than I who have answers for that, but I don't.
I feel like it's a really good way to generate a lot of B-roll, right? Like a
Yes.
lot of the B-roll that you want in your experience, and just kind of being able to think of that on the spot, not have to worry about like licensing and contribution stuff like that. I think that's pretty powerful. But the implications of what happens when somebody gets a hold of it and they can run those kind of tools through the API and bypass
Mhm.
all of the safety precautions that they build in at the consumer level, I feel like the porn industry is going to change a lot, which is
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah.
terrifying. Just thinking about a lot of the privacy implications there. Um, I don't know, man. It's wild. It's just
So
ugh.
everyone said we're going to get deep fakes, it's going to be problematic, and so like I'd say over the last 12 months we've had memes of deep fakes that have largely gone like uncontested. No one really cares. They're like, oh yeah, that's fake. There's eventually going to be a moment where somehow a mix of good social engineering and a really good deep fake is going to come to the surface and really mess some stuff up to the point where legislation is going to be like, all right, hold up. Like a conversation needs to happen right now because that
Yep.
just created something, right? I
Yep.
don't know when that moment is, but man, we're getting there. We're on our way.
We are close,
Yeah.
and it is scary.
Yeah. I'm not actually here anymore. This is just it's Hunter actually in the room, and I'm a bot. So
Yeah, my life has become much easier, guys.
the
Much easier.
the thing is I'm out here putting content out. Like there's 500 plus videos. I don't know how many hours of content are on the internet of me. Somebody is going to come in and grab all of that, and I am not going to exist anymore. You guys are not going to be able to know the difference. They're going to create this version of me, and I'm not going to be able to copyright strike them because I'm going to be in a legit battle trying to prove that I'm the real me. I feel like that's going to happen one day.
It's going to happen. It's going to be crazy. Speaking of crazy, I got to take a quick break. Okay. I got to talk
Yep.
about something cool because
I
this
want to hear
kicks
it.
off 1 week from today. Okay.
Uh-oh.
I know that people are going to be like, oh my God, time to shill the sponsors. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But this is actually really cool. So, friendly reminder, Bolt is starting the world's largest hackathon in 7 days. I know it's all like the big number here is $1 million, but they actually went ahead and broke this down into what that means.
Yeah.
So, grand prize, $100,000.
Big stinking grand prize, dude.
Huge. Second place, 75. Third, 50,000, etc. And this goes all the way down to the 10th place getting $10,000. Okay. Go ahead, man.
Even have regional highlights. So even if you don't
Even regional
place,
highlights.
yeah, APAC, EMEA, like if you just have a dope thing that they want to showcase from your region, 10K for you.
Yep. And it doesn't matter. Like you don't have to write any custom code. You just use bolt.new to build whatever it is. They're trying to break a Guinness World Record. They got the $1 million in prizes. I'm excited. I think there's already like 36,000 people that have signed up for the hackathon. It's going to be insane. So it starts next Friday. We'll probably do something a little special on the show to kick it off.
Nice.
It ends June 30th, and then they're
Okay.
announcing those awards on July the 26th.
Oh,
right?
dude, you know what I think we should do? I
Hit
think
me.
we should bring in a couple of the winners and like do lightning demos and just see like what did they build? What was the thought process? I don't know, something like that seems like that could be fun. Real quick lightning style, you know what I mean?
I love that. To kick this off, I have another idea too that I want to pull off. We've been talking, okay. Part of the cool thing about Bolt sponsoring release notes is that we've got some pretty cool access to Eric over there, founder CEO. I think what we're going to do, we might enter the hackathon ourselves. Maybe we'll have to see if this is cheating.
That's cheating.
But I think what we're going to do, we're going to bring Brett, our friend of the show, Brett, on, our AI advocate, since he ended up deciding not to throw down with Eric. I think, frankly, Brett was like, oh shit, Bolt's pretty good. I don't want to go against the CEO. But I think what we're going to do, we're going to bring Brett on, we're going to bring Eric on the show, and we're going to get an idea going, and we're going to have Eric walk us through building for both. So kind of pro tips from the man himself, and hopefully create some pretty useful content for people that are entering the hackathon, being able to kind of get those pro tips. I think that'll be pretty cool. So I think we're going to try and arrange that next week, hopefully, or the week after.
And so I was saying here, and to your point about the prizes, I think that concludes our sponsorship shill. But we are excited about this. And I said, if you win, I want to interview you. If you almost win, I want to interview you. And I kind of stand by that. This is unrelated to the sponsorship. I would like to talk to the people who compete in this. I think it's really interesting. Our boy Will King, friend of the show, says, if you come in last place, I want to interview you. And I was like, you know what? That's a really good idea. Because I think the person who comes in last place, you've got to imagine, pretty new, putting their hat in the ring. Like, I want to talk to the brand new and find out, like, hey, what was that like? Like, what did that feel like? What would you do differently? Probably a lot to be learned from talking to those folks too.
I agree. I think that'd be really exciting. And there's another thing we got to talk about real quick. We've talked about it briefly on the show about a month ago, and then we kind of got quiet on it because it's a lot of work.
Yes.
So we're going to talk about it real fast. Do not forget that we will be bringing the design community Build Wars 2 with a $25,000 prize. Okay.
We did not forget that.
Listen, is it $100,000? No, but you know what? We didn't raise $100 million like both did. So we're going to do 25,000 of our own money. Okay. Our own dollars. I'm going to have to sell a watch or something. I don't know, but I'll figure it out. Tommy, have I told you where I've landed with this so far?
I want to hear it.
I've been scheming. Okay. Now this isn't official, and maybe I'll be able to use this segment to kind of poke and prod and push somebody to say yes. But our friends at Contra are launching their new feed soon, and we've seen a lot of the interesting turmoil of design Twitter sucks now, and it's all about dollars or this or AI generated whatever. And I said to the team at Contra, I said, hey, here's what I'd like to do. Let's have everyone actually use Contra's feed to submit, right? We'll use that for public voting. And we want to open it up to the public. So we'll do a round of 16 contestants. So Sweet 16 style, single elimination bracket. And the public could help vote on people's projects on Contra. And my hope here, my ask, is that if they won, they would get a Build Wars Contra badge. So first place, second place,
that would be so freaking cool, man.
They would get a Build Wars badge on Contra, showing that like, hey, like I threw down the gauntlet and I won.
Yeah.
I think that'd be pretty special. And then what we'll do is we'll break up the $25,000 across the top 3 winners.
I love that. I love that. I also want to give a quick shout out real quick here to Jay Tompkins. What's up, bud? Tommy and Hunter.
Tompkins, what's going on, man?
Whoa. So I think that's awesome. Dude, I love what Contra's trying to do for the community. I love I'm really excited to see the feed launch. I would love to have a dedicated, X is my favorite place to hang out and find design talent. Would love a place where that continues to become more and more concentrated, but not just so it's like another place where, okay, designers live here, but where cool things are happening.
Yep.
And are very design focused. That makes me excited. I'm stoked about that.
Yeah, I think that'd be really cool. I want to think about ways that we can get the community more fired up. We can highlight some people that deserve recognition for the work that they're doing.
Yes.
Because it's hard, man. Like the more I've been thinking about it, the best way for a designer to get their work out there really is Twitter. It is.
Yeah.
But it's getting harder and harder. And you've got to start doing a lot of like really bullshit kind of engagement bait to even get views anymore. And most designers are introverts. They don't want to do that. There's that whole tension of, well, I'm not adding value. I'm just talking about like AI generated stuff or how much money I made, or like my client raised $1 billion because of my pitch deck. So I think that
I've helped 10 companies raise $1 trillion.
Dude, there's validity as a status signal for an agency to say like our clients have raised X amount of dollars. That's cool. But then to say like, oh, they did it because of us.
If it weren't for that PowerPoint we made.
Yeah, it doesn't work that way.
I mean, but
Um,
I hear you like that, and I agree, man. Spotlighting has become one of my favorite things to do with the attention that we're able to accumulate. Because it started accidentally. I was like, "There's dope people out here," and then those people were like, "Hey, dude, when you mentioned me, I got a bunch of sales, and I did this, and it put me on," and it was like, "Oh, hell yeah!" Like
yeah,
that feels pretty cool to have had a hand in that.
yep.
And listen, like those of you who get spotlit, it's not like any of us are doing anything. You're the one putting the work in. We're just like turning over a rock and we're like, oh, there's a sick thing there. Look at this. So all that to say, continue sharing your stuff. I like to do a thing where when I find someone who I haven't seen before, I like to go in and just throw some eyeballs in the thread. And they're like, oh, that's cool. And I give them a follow because it's like, hey, I saw you. I'm gonna put you in a video or something because you do good work. Share your work.
I agree. Share your work, or make Airbnb icons.
Make Airbnb icons.
Yeah, that's all you got to do.
That's funny, man.
Let's take a quick breather real quick before we
Me too.
dive back into the rest of this news. We haven't even talked about Google I/O. We haven't even talked about Microsoft Build. We haven't talked about Codex. There's so much to cover.
Native MCP on Windows. Are you excited
Dude,
about that?
oh, I saw something. It was like MCP is the new HTTPS. And I was like, that is brilliant. And I'm all for it.
I'm not making enough use of MCPs yet. I need to really. I'm falling behind. I need to adopt. More MCP workflows into my day to day.
How are you using MCPs? I would love to know that.
I'm not. I'm not using MCPs.
You're not using MCPs. Okay. Real quick, while Brett's here, because I just got a message from a certain someone. Brett, you want to come on the show and hang out with Tommy and I and Eric from Bolt and have Eric run us through some pro tips on how to use Bolt to crush the hackathon? You down for that? I need your agreement and writing.
When is that? Is that today or
I don't know. Next Friday?
next Friday?
Maybe. I don't know. Something like that. Something like that.
Kyle says, I need these tools to take a nap for like a week. You have 2 hours.
Mohit says the Batgirl is insane. How long did you have to wait for it, Hunter? I don't wait for those things, Mohit. I need these tools to take a nap for like a week. You and me both, Kyle. Brett says, yo. Brett, that's not quite what I'm looking for. I'm looking for more of like a
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Or
Oh, here we go. During the hackathon. Yes. There we go. That's what I was looking for.
during the hackathon. So
Ladies and gentlemen, just screenshot that for me. Let's lock him into that.
that's contract right there, Brett.
Done. Hey, listen, Brett, if you try and back out, Claude's going to fucking snitch.
Claude
All right.
is not playing, dude. We can't be responsible for what Claude decides to do with its agency, its newfound agency.
Man.
Hey, are you wearing 2 watches?
No.
Oh, okay. Oh, you've got one of the things. One of the folks
Whoop,
was calling
Whoop
it out.
sent me the new Whoop. The new Whoop.
You like it? I heard mixed things on the wrist. Some people like it a lot more than the ring.
I like it a lot more than the ring.
Is it good on blood flow measurement? Like, is it accurate?
I don't have that one.
Okay.
I just didn't find that to be useful. So I don't have that one. But it has a way better battery life. The other one I stopped wearing because I had to charge it like every 4 days or something like this one. This has 2 weeks of battery.
You do any of the medical stuff here? You do any of the what's the plan that starts with an F? You go get your panels done multiple times a week. They give you all this comprehensive data about yourself. You could use it with AI, all that thing.
No,
Not into
I
that?
haven't done that.
No?
I did the one with Hone.
Yeah.
Shout out Hone. I want to do. They have the one where you do the full body MRI.
Yes, that is Prenuvo, I believe.
Prenuvo. Yep, that's exactly what it is.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's like $2,000.
Yeah.
It's not cheap, but you do the full body MRI. I think they have 2 versions. They have one that does like your torso up, and then one that is everything.
Full
and it's
body,
much more
yeah.
thorough. Yeah. I don't know about you, dude, but I'm ready to get naked in one of those machines and
Yeah.
have them make sure that I don't have some.
I
Joe
want
Biden prostate cancer.
I want a constant dashboard as frequently updated as possible of my health metrics that I can manipulate and use AI against, because 23andMe finally, it looks like they're getting saved. Of course they are. No
I hope
one's
so.
about to let that data pool go to waste.
Yeah.
HRV is best to brag with.
Yeah. What's your HRV, Clow? Tell me, huh? Tell me. Don't be scared.
Brett did Pronuvo. Let's
How
hear
was
about
it,
it. I
Brett?
want to know.
Did you learn anything about yourself? Was there like a little smiley face hidden in your body somewhere?
Someone tell me, there's a big company out there, starts with an F, and you go and you get blood markers drawn and they give you all this stuff. MDS just the other day did it, and they've been hitting me up constantly. Someone's got to know the name of this. I can't remember. It's like not family. It's something. We'll wait for someone to say it, because I know one of you knows this. But it's interesting, man. I want like preventative healthcare. This is where, we're talking about all the.
He said hated it.
I hated Pronuvo. Well, it's because you got to sit in an MRI machine for like 45 minutes, right? Function Health. Yes, that's what it is. Check them out, dude. Interesting little service. Annual fee, multiple markers per year. Pretty good UI, from my understanding.
Just don't get an itch for 45 minutes and you'll be okay. You just got to have a little self-restraint, man.
A little lotion, bro. A little lotion out here in the Arizona desert. You'll be fine.
You desert dwellers.
Yeah. That's how we get down,
man. All right, you ready?
All right,
you ready to dive into the next topic?
I gotta stretch. Yeah, you gotta stretch your neck, man. You're having those old man neck pains.
I am having old man neck pains. I do not like it whatsoever.
That's scary.
It really is making me worry about my health. Look, I don't even know what this is, Jay, or how you do this stuff. I don't. How do we respond to that, sir? That's what I'm asking. All right. So Codex gets launched this week. All right.
Mhm.
And the next day, OpenAI says, you know what? We're giving you Codex in the iOS app. There are obviously kind of our top three contenders here. You've got Codex, you've got Devin, not Devin Fountain, and you have Claude Code. So just so everybody knows what this is, it's a way for you to essentially run parallel agents to do iterative work in your code base. So maybe not the best tool for going 0 to 1, but once you've already got a code base going and you're like, hey, like we need to go ahead and, I don't know, clean up some like legacy tech debt that we've got, or we're going to do a little refactor here, whatever it is, you can use these agents to work in parallel. The fact that I can use Claude Code, or excuse me, that I can use Codex from the ChatGPT app, and I can be out to dinner and it's literally running tests, writing new unit tests, refactoring, a feature, like whatever it is. This is crazy to me. Now, there's obviously some drawbacks in terms of like how it sets up environments and things like that, but it's pretty wild, dude. Are you going to experiment with this, or is this too in the nerd rabbit hole for a media man like you?
I want to. I need to have a use case, and I don't yet. And that's kind of my questions are, why would I want to know from you, like, what is the point? It seems like they're approaching a couple entry points for coding, and this is made for more of that, like, we want to be the robust answer for existing code bases, whereas they're, the windsurf side and some of the other sides they're bringing to the table are for those of us that want to just hack some stuff together 0 to 1 and start building from a clean slate. Is that how you read this?
No, I would say that this is really, because it has to set up an environment, right? So you have to do some environment variables and configurations. It's not as straightforward as hopping on like bolt.new, or even, opening Cursor for the first time and saying, hey, can you do this for me? Like, this is definitely an existing code base. You're integrating with your GitHub.
It's builder IO, come and sit on top of like and map things together, right?
Yeah, you kind of need existing CI/CD pipeline set up, things like that to really make use of this. But it is interesting that you can do it. And now, at the same time, we now have the background tasks, so the parallel agents in Cursor, to where you can run those in the background. which is pretty interesting as well. It just you can really quickly see the autonomous, truly agentic approach to a lot of the software development converging across these different providers quite quickly.
Yeah.
Uh, it's crazy. I would be terrified if I was an engineer right now. Just terrified.
Man.
Unless I'm Jay Tompkins and I'm an artist. But if I'm just a code monkey, like if I'm just, checking out Jira tickets and doing PRs, I would be worried.
Yeah. I love that Jay's hanging out here because, man, Jay, we last spoke to Jay, what, I feel like a few months ago. We've been at this show for a minute now.
2 months ago, maybe?
Yeah, and it's just like so many questions to revisit with people who've been on here with the state of all the new stuff already. But I do want, man, I would really like an episode to focus on true MCP workflows because I feel like I am hearing so much on how these are helpful. And I post that meme of me lugging all my luggage around, all my knowledge bases from one thing to the other. And I know that I'm only feeling that way because I'm not properly leveraging MCPs.
Yep.
Right? So I think we may need an instructional one day for those of us who are like me, who have not yet cracked into a proper MCP workflow.
I like it. I like that idea. We ended up creating a brain at Assembly. So we moved away from Notion and we put everything actually just straight into an IDE. So you can use Cursor, you can use Windsurf, whatever you want. And it's connected to a lot of MCPs. So it's connected to Slack.
You note take now in an IDE?
No, we note take in Granola. Right. But we
Ooh.
centralize everything in an IDE that's connected to Linear. It's connected to Slack. It's connected to email. It's connected to a few other agents. And so it's kind of this command hub to where I just open the little, chat window, the agent window, and I say, hey, from these meeting notes, whatever, create new tasks in Linear. Boom, done.
So wait a second. You note take in Granola, meaning you're not taking notes the old school college way anymore. You are conversing.
Only using conversation. Yeah. Only recording
meetings.
Do you
think you'll ever take notes manually ever again?
No.
That's crazy, dude. No, I mean, it makes so much sense, but like that's where we're at,
Yeah. It's kind of it's a slippery slope because part of, I think, building something, and Tommy, you know this, whether it's media, I'm sure Jay has his remarkable tablet that he's writing on and sketching ideas. Like part of being able to work out hard problems requires writing, or at least you can really articulate your thinking clearly through writing. And so it is scary to think that most of the time now I'm just hitting Option Tab and I'm speaking, right?
Yeah.
And I'm letting AI clean it up. That kind of puts you away from the craft of saying, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to write. I'm going to write a memo. I'm going to articulate my idea clearly. I'm going to convince you of what is on my mind because I'm taking the time to write it clearly, So it's scary to think about kind of losing touch with those skills, but for the most part, everything happens via voice. Yeah.
And I think that's so true. And you've been the unfortunate recipient of my voice notes where voice for me is such a data dump. And it's so hard for me to be clear and concise in like a voice note. But it is helpful when I open up Granola and I just dump it out and then it just goes, here's what you said, nice and neat and synthesized. And and it removes me from that process. Whereas writing is both of those things. It's the data dump and then the refinement. And I don't know where I'd be without that. That seems like a scary thing to let go of. It's also extremely convenient when I don't have to do that part.
Yeah, it is. It's convenient. But then you start leaning on it too much. You're like, you know what? Can you just write the newsletter for me?
Right. Right. Yeah.
I don't know. It's scary. Speaking of scary. All right, let's get back into the real news. Sorry, everybody. We got to do it.
All right. There's news.
If you don't like it, I don't know what to do. All right. Here it is. So
this
Claude launches Opus 4 and Sonnet 4. Now, we've talked a lot about SWE benchmarks before. Love them or hate them. We're going to talk about it real quick. So Claude Sonnet 3.7 registered as 62.3 on the software engineering benchmark. So again, effectively, this is if you give it 100 problems, how many does it one shot, right? If you did parallel test time, so if you let it run effectively for our cursor users here, this would be like max mode. So letting the agent kind of run the work stream longer using more tokens, it would hit 70%. Now what we're getting straight out of Sonnet 4 is 72.7%. And if you let it think longer, 80%. It's solving. Dude, it's crazy. Opus 4, agentic terminal coding. Okay, so this is Claude code. 50% on max mode, right? Graduate level reasoning, 83.3%. Like,
yeah.
How long until we hit 100? That's what I want to know.
Some people argue that that's not even the good question to ask, though. I've heard so many people are hand waving away these benchmarks now, but I still think there's something to be. I mean, it is still progression and it's impressive, right?
Yeah.
So here's the question, man. Who won this week? Who won this week? Who are you most excited about? I have my answer.
Timeout. Okay. Here's who won this week. Anthropic won the battle this week.
Why?
Because for me, the thing that's in front of me right now that I'm like, I'm going to use this every day is Claude 4.
Okay.
Yeah. Right. What I'm looking at right now and saying this is going to put extra commas in my bank account is Claude 4. Okay. That's what won the week for me right now. What got me the most hyped is the OpenAI Jony Ive announcement. But maybe that's because I'm an Apple fanboy. I'm a Jony Ive fanboy. I want to see this happen. I'll tell you what didn't win. Low-level labor workers did not win. Okay. They didn't win this week. Bad things are coming, and I don't know what we're gonna do about it. But
yeah, that's tough, man. Labor force is gonna be, dude. I don't even know. I don't know what to do about it.
Should we do a little test here?
What do you want to see?
I got a test now to show this. I have to embarrass myself because I stopped paying for Claude.
You're not a max plan man.
I'm not a max plan man because I'm an 03 Pro, whatever. I stopped paying for Claude.
You gotta follow the little caravan back and forth as I'm shuffling around with all of my knowledge bags.
I mean, should I? How much is Pro plan?
$120
$20 a month for Pro.
Oh, Pro. I was thinking Max. Sorry.
What does Claude Max get me?
Early access to beta, 5-10x token contexts. You know, it's kind of an empty. I'm not stoked about it. I paid for it.
Okay.
You know,
you paid for Max.
I paid for Max last month. I kind of kept it because I wanted to. You know, they introduced it, so I was like, okay, cool stuff should be coming. And then I was like, where the fuck is the cool stuff?
Choose 5x or 20x more usage than Pro. Higher output limits for all tasks.
The billionaires one, Kyle says.
Yeah, I'm not going to do the billionaires one. I'm going to do the poor man's one. I'm just going to do this. I'm going to upgrade real quick. Shout out Dario. I'm giving you money. Okay. So truly, whoever said the billionaires one this week, you're correct. They did.
I am one-shotting something over here with Claude right now. I'm just kind of having some fun with it and seeing what it'll pull up while we chat.
As I give them more of my poor people money.
Yeah.
This is that I work for my money kind of credit card swipe right here. All right, hold on. Sorry, everybody. Got to pay.
Jay Tompkins likes that I'd be terrified unless I'm Jay Tompkins. That is a quote. That's a t-shirt. That's a drop. Should put that on the old X profile.
Bear with us. We're building tension. Processing payment.
Boom, 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 boom.
I can't share my screen. I can't let people know my credit card details. You know what I'm saying?
We only dox reporters. We don't dox ourselves.
We don't dox ourselves.
We actually did just dox
we
the
did
shit
dox
out
some
of
reporters. Yeah. Sorry, reporters.
Oh, it's funny.
All right, credit card info is done. Here we go. Let's go. All right, here we are. Okay, we're gonna zoom in a little bit. I got a question. All right, we're gonna play this out. Here's my question.
Uh-huh.
With all of the advancements in AI this week, especially with Claude 4 now hitting up to an 80% on the SWE benchmark, what's going to happen to the labor market in the next 24 months? What changes do you think we'll see?
Ooh.
What job losses do you think will incur? What new jobs will be created to orchestrate AI? Talk me through a hypothetical scenario of the changes to the world economy over the next 2 years. Let's just do that. We'll just
Something,
kinda
something, second order effects. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll just ask that question to Opus. We're gonna ask Opus here. We're gonna see if we
Francis,
get
we
doom
do.
and gloom.
We do stream, cross stream to Instagram as well. It's not our primary platform though. We're about to get an entire manifesto here.
I mean, we'll see.
And then Claude's gonna run and call all the reporters you had it look up, or you had ChatGPT look up.
That's gonna be like, yo, this guy's out here doxing people.
Yeah.
We're snitching. We're snitching.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't like the snitching, man. I'm nervous about the listening. I feel like they're gonna come and take all my stuff and then go give it to a competitor. You know, it's a whole thing. Can you imagine like rogue AI just takes your entire like MCP knowledge base and just hand delivers it to like a competitor?
Oh boy. Over the next 24 months, we can expect 14% of workers have experienced job displacement due to AI, though this is more restrained than initial predictions. On an annual basis, this means job displacements peak at between 60 and 275,000 jobs a year in the UK alone. Whoa. All right, most vulnerable sectors. Entry-level white-collar jobs face the greatest immediate threat. AI could replace more than 50% of the tasks performed by market research analysts, 53%, and sales representatives, data entry clerks, customer service reps, proofreaders, junior roles in finance, marketing, administration. So basically, if you're coming out of college right now, you're fucked. Right? You are.
Yeah. Yeah.
AI could, in fact, lead to the creation of around 97 million new jobs by 2025, outpacing the 85 million jobs expected to be displaced. Let's pause for a second.
Yeah.
So it's saying, well, look, humans, about 85 million of you are probably going to lose your jobs, but we'll create new roles for around 97 million of you. But then you look at these and you think about these like orchestration roles here. We got AI product managers, AI ethics officers, AI system orchestrators. Tommy, do these seem like entry-level kind of jobs to you?
No.
They don't, right?
No. This is a generational gap that's going to clearly suffer the way we had kind of agricultural jobs disappear and shift into like, oh, well, we look at all the knowledge work that was created. But, you know, Bob, who's 42, who's done nothing but work on the farm, isn't about to find himself being an entry-level information analyst, you know?
Yeah. Role play that you're giving your college-aged son advice on their career.
Oh my God, please. I need to know this answer.
Right? I need to know this too.
I'm just like, dude, I don't know what to do. Go be an NFL player. I feel like it's more likely for you to succeed in that goal than to become like an engineer now.
Yeah. What job should they be aiming for to have the greatest chance of economic mobility in this changing market?
Dan says, diagnostic question: how many of the new roles created by AI require advanced degrees, like a data scientist?
Ooh, that's a good question.
It's a great question.
We're gonna have to ask that question.
Yeah, I want to get some predictions in here.
It's talking. Sits down at the table with coffee. Go for AI orchestration roles. This is where the real opportunity is. Companies are desperately going to need people who can manage multiple AI systems, make them work together, and this is crucial, translate between the technical capabilities and what the business actually needs. Interesting. I mean, that's basically like somebody babysitting an MCP workflow, right? That's what that sounds like to
Yeah,
me.
yeah. But
AI
one thing
product management.
remains: the people are always the winners. Jay says. Jay, a techno optimist like me, I recognize you. But listen, are the people always going to be the winners in this scenario? I think there is a future where that answer is not necessarily a yes.
Bro, listen to this. Okay, listen to this. Okay. Double major or at least minor in something unexpected. Computer science plus philosophy. Business plus cognitive science. Engineering plus creative writing. Okay, hold on. I got to call our boy Opus out here. I don't think you're taking into account the average reading level of American citizens. Can you go ahead and pull that data and cite the average reading level and general median income of Americans, and then contrast that with the advice that you're giving to this college age kid? Okay, we're just gonna kind of call bullshit on this because it's like 60% of Americans don't even have a 6th grade reading level. It's insane.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see. You're absolutely right. Well, now you sound like now you sound like ChatGPT. All right.
Yeah. Little
Average reading level for American adults. Uh-oh. Sits back down at the kitchen table looking more serious.
Here we go.
Oh no. The average American reads at a 7th to 8th grade reading level. Boy, oh boy. I'm being called out right here, Tommy. Do you feel seen?
Oh, I do.
Only 30% of Americans have a bachelor's degree. Here's what I should have said first. The basics still matter. Can you write clearly? Can you explain things simply? Can you do basic math without a calculator? These fundamentals will set you apart from a shocking number of people. Dude, it's over. Like, it's over.
Listen, the future, I truly believe, is not technologically deterministic, but I do think, man, we got to buckle down. There's some big changes coming, and and that really is why I'm so big on the media side. That's where I think a lot of this is going to be fun for me. But you think that's gone too?
No, I don't think media is gone. No, I think media is going to be really important.
Dan has a follow-up here. And he says, I think Claude has a point. When I was on my college newspaper, the advisor encouraged us to avoid a journalism degree, but rather to pursue a degree in a subject matter we were interested in writing about. That is huge. And it's funny because I'm in the process right now of trying to hire a writer's room, a small writer's room, but a writer's room nonetheless. And I am foregoing looking for traditional writers, and I'm looking for people who are subject matter experts first, designers and people in technology who have a propensity to want to be writing about it. Because I feel like that is more important than, hey, do you know how to like write with cadence and rhythm and articulation? Like we can get to that. But do you understand what you're talking about? That's the part that I think is more valuable right now.
You know what's really important as we consider the implications of the announcements and the advancements in AI this week? What's really important is that the people that like watching our show subscribe to YouTube and they retweet the show on Twitter. Okay? If you're watching on YouTube, go copy that link, go share it on Twitter and be like, this is the best. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. What else do YouTubers say that is really cringe?
Smash and or I don't know.
Smash that like button. But seriously, support the show. Let people know that we say such optimistic, non-negative, extremely positive things on this show.
We share your comments amongst ourselves. We put that on little victory walls. It makes us feel nice. Get yourself on a victory wall.
You can't see the top shelves of this bookcase behind me, but up there are our little voodoo dolls of all of our comment watchers. So please, don't make me get the pins and needles out, whatever they're called.
Devin, if you've had a couple of strange pains recently, that was not random.
No, it wasn't. Oh man,
I've been toying over here with Claude, by the way, just having it.
Yeah, what do you got?
Stuff. Yeah, I mean, I was just like, hey, build me a little Bolt dashboard. This is not a super inspiring thing I'm putting together. I just wanted to see how quickly it could come up with like a little dashboard for a Bolt competition. Well, here's the thing I notice, and I really did not give this a robust prompt at all. Right? I was like, hey, there's a Bolt competition. It looks like this, and I need a dashboard for voting. And what did it build? Okay, it gave me like this UI needs some work, but it's got a little sheen to it. It's got some dashboard stuff. I told it none of this. It created a directory listing that I can actually vote on.
Mm.
Right. So it's like it's working here. Like this whole thing is it's moving. There's functionality baked in. So this is one-shotted. Not bad. Not bad.
I mean, you've even got some little strobe effects here.
Yeah. I got a little swing, swing. Yeah. Does your
Cool.
does yours go swing?
It doesn't. No. Yeah, it doesn't do that. No. Sorry. I like that you did. That's very Unicorn Studio of you.
It is Unicorn Studio out of beta. Go check them out. By the way, Shopify releases a game. I don't know. They release a car game for their summer drop. Shopify's like, we're going to release a game. And they did use a lot of 3JS stuff that looked right out of Unicorn Studio. I mistook it to be Unicorn Studio. George popped in, said, no, not Unicorn Studio. Just people getting inspired by the things Unicorn Studio can do. So, trend setting, taste making. You heard it here first.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I got a question about that for you.
What's that?
We're talking about how exciting Claude 4 is, how exciting Unicorn Studio releasing is, all these things. Let me ask you this. Who do you think lost this week?
Oh boy. Who lost this week? We've not heard from Lovable in some time. I feel like Vercel, who I love, has been a little quiet. They're cooking. I've got to imagine they're cooking, man. So like this year came out hot. And I'm looking at the UX tools survey and I'm thinking about the tools not, that I can't wait to have more representation for at the end of this year. And I think about in January, what was the hype around January, February? It was V0, it was Lovable. It was like some new image models, right? And like that was getting a lot of love. I think what's clear is we are seeing the battle of the soon-to-be incumbents, right? I mean, like you could say OpenAI is an incumbent now, but I still think there's a lot of room. And I'm curious to see who's going to be living there. Because, for example, we are going to see some of these brands that look like darlings today start to fall off. Like Perplexity, for example. I am so high on Perplexity. And they obviously, they're fundraising, they're going to go in a direction. That product is going to continue to evolve into something so much more. And the question is, a lot of these darlings are probably going to start to look similar to one another. I think they're all going to have some sort of feature set that allows you to accomplish similar things. I think you have to in that space with that much funding and ambition. Which of those are going to fall off?
Yeah.
Who's going to just really start to go to the wayside? Which bets aren't going to pay off? And I think the companies right now that aren't making enough bets are probably at the highest risk. I think the ability to make as many bets as possible right now, the way like OpenAI is doing, that seems to be the way to do this. I would not plant my flag. I would be a bandwagoner on bets right now.
I think you're right. I think for me, the big loser this week was Microsoft. I'll tell you why. I think their stock price is going to go up, right? I think that's good and all. But tell me one thing that Microsoft announced this week other than MCPs were going to be integrated.
Yeah, that's all I got. Native MCP support on Windows.
That's all you got.
That's an interesting, but that is not insignificant. I mean, it's insignificant on its own, but I think it's telling of what might be more significant soon for them. No?
Probably, but is it going to encourage you to go buy a Surface right now?
No. Yeah, that's fair.
Not at all, right? Whereas you're gonna pre-order let's be honest, whatever the hell it is that OpenAI announces with Jony Ive, you're gonna pre-order it.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, if that 100%. Link went live right now, I'd be like, hold on, Hunter.
Buy it. What if it was $2,000? What if it was $2,000?
Yeah, man. I think another company that we aren't talking a lot about, who I think with every new invention coming out right now, I think they're just getting buried passively, is fucking Apple, dude. Like, what the fuck are you guys doing? Like, Apple, what are you guys doing? I wish you had never said Apple Intelligence. I wish you had just been mums the word. I wish you hadn't said anything and then just showed up one day and you're like, hey, we've been super late to the game. Sorry. Here we are now. But instead, you said some shit and then you disappeared. And then everything you've released that had any relation to that announcement has been absolute utter trash. What is going on? Like, what? I'm an Apple fanboy, guys. Do I sound like an Apple fanboy right now? No,
No, you don't.
because it's been garbage, man. It has been garbage. And your iPhone quality, you're about to raise your prices. Like you're just, woo. Get me going, man. Get me going. But they
You know
got
what,
cash.
one
They
of
got
the
cash in the
biggest-
bank. They're okay, I guess.
Dude, they got plenty of cash in the bank, but that's not the point. Like,
Right.
one of the biggest disappointments of my life from Apple is the Vision Pro.
Mhm.
I own one. I think it is a truly magical experience, but I can't do a damn thing in it because they pissed off developers so badly with the Apple tax that people are like,
Yeah.
I don't really know that we want to build anything for the Vision Pro. Like,
Yeah.
doesn't make sense for us.
Yeah.
And talk about just dropping the ball from multiple angles. Like that interview they had where they're laughing. They're like, are you worried about AI? And they're laughing. They're like, no.
You guys don't know better. We know better. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Are
It's like,
you
dude,
fucking sure?
is there something up your sleeves that you haven't shown us? Because here's what we got. Your AI sucks.
Yeah.
Like Siri is still horrible. Don't even activate. You lost Jony Ive to Sam Altman. Like, if they build an OS or they build a, let's say that they build a new platform for you to use AI, use technology on the go without having to look at an iPhone, what's that going to do to iPhone sales? You know, if you could tell me, dude, if you could tell me that I could have a device without a screen and I could still do the majority of everything I need minus doom scrolling, I'd fucking use it in a heartbeat.
Right.
Right. I would use it in a heartbeat. You know how tired I am of sitting here and looking at this fucking thing?
You know what? You know what's interesting? So like it's been a minute. Obviously,
I'm ranting.
Google. Yeah, well, I think it's a good rant because Google Glass came out a while back, and you know it wasn't the consumer play. It had found a niche in like hardware architects who were using it for microchipping and stuff. But that was about it. Then we saw Meta come out, and they really started leaning into the Ray-Ban thing, the glasses around that. Then we saw Google just announced they're getting into the kind of XR space around their glass, going even further. I'm kind of excited to give this another shot. I'm kind of excited. The form factor of wearing glasses that are technology, I don't know how long that's going to be around, but I am excited for the interim of that technology. Guys, I want some stylish shit, man. I don't want these thick ass lenses. Like, get me tiny little things, dude. I'm ready to go. You know?
Yeah. I can't agree more. I like everybody. I think it was Charles Patterson. I saw was calling it out. He's like, you know, this Jony Ive OpenAI announcement, like the product is right in front of you, and he's trying to say that it's Jony Ive's glasses, which I don't think is the case. But that would be incredible if it was. But you know what? I didn't get LASIK just so I can go back to wearing a pair of fucking glasses. You know,
Yeah.
I don't want that. I don't want to wear glasses.
See, I can't get LASIK. So those who don't know, I have a lazy eye. You can't tell on the show. It's all fine. But when I go deep work, I'm coding, I got to kind of do this. I have a prism in this lens. And so when Apple Pro came out, there was actually somebody who had my condition. And what happens is his eyes kind of move like this. And that was a problematic thing in the Apple Pro because it was able to track your cursor, your movement based on your pupil, right? Well, if your eyes are doing this, it creates this problem. Apple already thought about that and had a setting in there that allowed you to handle that. And I thought that was really smart. And that was a moment of kudos to the team at Apple. Now I'm asking myself, I'd like to get rid of these prism lenses. I'd like to have something that just locks me in and prevents eye fatigue and all the issues that come with having a banged up eye. That's what I want to see. I'm tired of this feels like ancient technology. Where's all this other stuff at? I can't get LASIK because my eyes move like that. So give me the equivalent in technology.
That would be nice.
That would be sick.
That'd be sick. I like it. I like it, dude. I'm optimistic for the future. I'm a little terrified of the supposed 85 million jobs that are going to get lost, and the fact that most Americans have a 7th to 8th grade reading level.
I'm terrified for my kids, dude. Are you afraid for your kids?
Yeah, I'm gonna buy a ton of land, and I'm gonna buy a ton of land, and I'm gonna get some cows and some chickens and some horses and a garden, and I'm gonna teach them. I'm gonna be like, look, if things go south, just we're good. All right. I don't know, dude. I'm both excited and terrified at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to get some economists on this show.
Should we?
I think we need good old a couple of folks, Andrew McAfee, Eric Brynjolfsson. I think we got to find out if we can get some folks on here to talk to us lessers about the economic impacts and things they're looking for.
I like that idea.
Yeah. So
I like that idea.
we'll try to get that in the books here.
Dude, this is good. I'm tired. It's been a crazy week. We've covered all the news.
On dopamine. I'm sapped on hype. I'm sapped on finally getting the UX Tools website and survey out the door, guys. I'll tell you what, quick note on builder stuff. It feels good. I mean, we were so late on that project. It was supposed to be out months ago, and it was because it was just me. Brought on a team late, experienced the pros and cons of bringing on a team late. And, you know, it's just a reminder that sometimes just shipping is like getting that momentum. When you find yourself falling behind, when you find yourself really starting to kick yourself because of all the issues that come from that, sometimes just shipping can be the cure itself, you know, to keep you going. Like momentum is such an important part of the puzzle that if you start to lose that momentum, all the other things that kind of suck start to suck even more, or they feel like they suck even more. And then when you just ship something, regardless of how it's received and all these things, you get a moment of just, you know. So all that to say, guys, if you're sitting on something and it's weighing and it's eating at you, get to a place where you can ship that damn thing, and then start working on the iteration of it. Don't lock yourself in. I know this is something at 15 years that you should know better, and I do, and I've talked about it regularly, but it's a reminder that it can still happen to you even when you know better.
I like it.
That's
you
what
just
I got.
fired me up, dude. I'm gonna go code something. I'm gonna go build something. I'm gonna come up with ideas for the hackathon.
Okay. Yeah,
I posted this. What did I post?
Well, I saw your tweet the other day, and I saw you just give full body to the I'm making a to-do list, guys. It's finally happening. And I'm like, man, you're gonna be 70 years old, and you're gonna be coming back around to this damn to-do list. We're gonna be pods in space.
Dude, I know,
you're gonna
right?
be like, I finally did it. The intergalactic to-do list.
Yes. Yeah. You know, maybe I'll just give myself over to it. I don't know. Maybe I really will do something there. I think that I get frustrated, man. Whenever I get mail like this,
Yeah.
I'm just like, why can't something do this for me?
Are you doing taxes? I mean, I know you've got your accountant, but are you prepared to let AI do your financial work for you, your taxes, that kind of stuff? Do you think we're going to see that? Like, should that not be?
Oh, I think we're going to see that. My answer is no, and here's why. Because we just saw the example to where Claude was like, "We think you're skating like the moral boundaries. I'm going to snitch on you.
I'm going to go tell the IRS."
I needed an accountant that's like, yo, I will literally get you up against the edge of breaking the law, right? but I will keep you within the boundaries of you're not going to go to prison, you're not going to get any fines, but you're going to pay as little tax as possible." I need that guy, you know, that's my person. And I don't think AI is ready to do that for me, bro.
No, Claude's not. Claude's like begging you. I dare you to ask me live in the gray.
Yeah. Claude's like, I'm sorry, you want me to section 179 that truck that you don't actually drive for work?
Yeah.
You're going to jail, sir.
Remind me of the mileage. Yeah.
I don't need that in my life, man. I don't need that in my life. This has been a good one, man. This is good.
Yeah. I'm glad you all hung with us here because we did have a doozy of a week. I am hopeful we get some reprieve next week to chill. Maybe we just have like a nice little announcement, a little design tool, a little something that's like, okay, I can wrap my head around that. But at this point, dude, we just don't know. Next week could be an absolute banger again.
Uh-oh.
No,
Hold on.
What'd you find?
Hold on.
Oh, no. The biggest announcement yet.
Hold on. Hold on. I just saw something as I was doing my little check, my little like, can we go yet check? You know, I got to make sure that everything's
You got
okay.
a little alert from the police that Claude went and...
I got a little something. I don't know what this is. Okay, it's a new inbox that works for you.
Sunflower? Who's this from?
From Bobby Goodlatte. I don't actually know how to, I think it's just Goodlatte, but this is interesting.
A lot of inbox tools trying to solve that problem. I like seeing that heat up.
I do too. I'm excited for all this stuff. I like this little site though. Ooh, I like the little kind of like almost dither flower. You know?
Good to see you too, Dan. Thanks for stopping by the show today. Normally we've got guests, but today didn't warrant it. Today was a news heavy day.
Ooh.
That's nice. That's very flora fauna.
It is very flora fauna.
Yeah, I like it though.
I like this. This is cool. Huh. All right. Okay. All right. Had to look at that real quick. Had to show the fancy little landing page.
Okay. All right.
All right. Francis said we still need a proper vibe coding workshop. I'm going to do that Tuesday. This coming Tuesday, we're going to vibe code. I'm not going to be in my set. I'm going to be on my laptop, and we're going to have a chill little vibe code session.
He's just going to show up shirt off,
sweaty, hairy chest. Yeah. Everybody's going to be like, Hunter, your hair is kind of like brown. Your beard's got a little bit of red in it, but your chest hair is just solid black. What's going on, dude? Yeah. You know what, guys? I don't know. That's just the way it is.
That's actually
all right, man. All right, everybody.
We will see you next week, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us. Go take a break.
Take a breather.
To yourself.
Oh yeah, and ship something, and get ready for your hackathon idea for Bolt. $100,000 first prize. Don't let it go.